thing I did write down was, and what you were saying earlier about having generally a good life. You're in a good place. Things are great. I don't know if you've heard of the theory of self-actualization. Does that sound familiar?
I've heard the term. Yeah, it's a lot of the Eastern mystics and Buddha type stuff.
Yeah,
Hindu.
and it's in. I don't know if it was Carl Rogers. That name comes to mind, but I might have the wrong guy. It wasn't Maslow, but anyway, there was a psychologist who was theorizing that once you've gone up, maybe it was Maslow, because there's a hierarchy of needs, and first you need physical safety, and then there's socialization, and there's feeling useful and connected to people. But you get to the top of this pyramid when you've got nothing else you need physically, emotionally. You've got all these things taken care of. Then we start reaching above the top of the pyramid for what this guy called self-actualization. It's like, now that now that I've, what am I trying to say? Now that I've got my basic needs attended to, what the hell am I doing? What do I want? Now that I've got, go ahead.
That resonates because my basic needs are taken care of. I don't really, stress about anything. I just have a perfect life. So maybe I'm looking for something to the next step, perhaps.
Yeah, and that's a good thing and a bad thing about human beings in a way, is that we are problem-solving machines. It's fantastic. You've got a dangerous environment. How do I survive? You've got an engine that doesn't run. You take it apart. You replace the carburetor. You put it back together. This is what we do. The problem is, what do you do when there's no more problems to solve? You go looking for more problems, which is why I think a lot of people, they say the idle hands are the devil's playground, because if you're not doing something useful or purposeful, you get into trouble. But that's not 100%. That's just a typical pattern that bored teenagers. What do you want to do? Let's go spray paint something or break something. They're looking for excitement, that type of thing. But on the positive side, once we've got all those basic needs met, we start looking for, now I want to create something. Now I want to do something important. Now I want to find a new challenge, rather than problems present themselves and then challenges, we go looking for them. So that was
No, I was saying that's good. That's good feedback. I like it.
Is that kind of resonating with the theme of this dream, or the feeling you got from this dream in any way?
Well, I'd never thought about that. That might be a component of why the dream occurred, because maybe I am just looking for the next challenge. Because I actually I love programming so much that it's not really even a challenge. It just comes easy. I do it every day. Maybe I just need a next challenge. And so that's some good feedback.
Yeah, very, very well could be. That's just one of the things that can. But before I even wrote that down, I also wrote down the term peak experience. And this is another term you may have come across before, because we have a lot of experiences. We got good ones and bad ones, but then there's like peak experiences. And it's been described as when an athlete is in the zone, they are sinking 3-pointers every time without missing a shot. And it seems like they're, and athletes and other people have described it as, it's like they're not even in control of their own body. They're just experiencing their body doing something to perfection. And that's in that realm of peak experiences. So, and those go hand in hand with self-actualization, because we look for those peak experiences where we're in the zone, we're in the flow, we're being creative, in terms of inventing new ideas, and the ability to implement them. And it's just like magic happens at our fingertips. Those are those peak experiences. So I don't know if you're putting those two ideas, that self-actualizing and looking for peak experiences, and thinking of the room and the function and the beauty of it. And I don't know if something's connecting in your mind. Are you having thoughts about that? Or?
Well, yeah, you could actually describe that room could represent being in the flow the way you described it. That might be what I need to achieve next, is how to get in the flow. I mean, I already feel like I'm in the flow to a certain degree, but I don't feel like I'm, like nirvana'd out all day, every day. But if that's what being in the flow is like, then maybe that's what that room represented, is finding what the flow is rather than just a satisfactory life. Maybe there's a part of life that is really to the next level that you'd call the flow. So that could be. I hadn't thought of that. That's good.
And unfortunately for these peak experiences, they come and go. You peak and you valley, and you peak and you valley, and ideally you don't valley into disaster and screwing your life up. I mean, you've experienced this yourself. You get a kind of, this is how I do. I can meet my basic needs. I can sustain myself. I know how to manage all these problems. But you're looking for more. You're like, I need for entertainment's sake, I need and for my own curiosity, to challenge myself, to get that feeling of fulfillment. There you go. Sometimes I got Swiss cheese brain. I can't think of the words fall in the holes. And that goes looking for those peak experiences, and they come and go. I mean, nobody can live in the zone 110% of the day. Even athletes, I mean, it comes and goes. They have an off day. But yeah, and those experiences, they feel amazing. They feel beautiful, that perfect function and form together. So that's the impression I was getting of this room and the way you were describing it, and you and I have a very similar appreciation of the beauty of function and form, and how just breathtaking it is when something is beautiful because of how well it works. Mm-hmm. And that goes into the idea of orderly, the room being very orderly, and the designs and the patterns and the feng shui, all the things you were describing are this aspiration towards finding, like, you got to go through chaos. Chaos is change to get to new order. But that order is what you're looking for. And of course, once it's the cycle of day and night as the Egyptians understood it. They had, and this is funny because the internet frog, Pepe on 4chan and whatnot. And then they started calling it Kek, the Egyptian god of chaos. And Kek actually has so that's the male half of a I don't want to say binary, but a dual god of chaos and order, Kek and Heket. And Heket is the goddess of the dawn and order. So the chaos of night gives way to the dawn of a new order, gives way to the chaos of more change in the night, and the cycle continues. And we do that with our life too. I had a point there. Sorry. I got off on a tangent. What we do when we're trying to be creative is we're embracing the chaos of night, but the purpose is to get to that dawn of creating a new order. And I think I'm starting to, I was talking with you about the idea of progress over time and repetition. So there's something there in terms of, like, maybe your life has achieved a comfortable routine, and suddenly there's a door that's different. And what's beyond the different doors, not only is different because there's a person there that opens it for you, but what's inside is beautiful, and it's a place you've been before. So that's what brings me back to the idea of peak experiences and self-actualizations. You've probably had these moments in your life in the past where you're in the room doing the thing for the right reason.